Yeah, so the deal with Airbus, I think, is a deal for the future. We're putting together a fund of 200 million US dollars, nearly $250 million Australian dollars, to actually develop a sustainable aviation fuel industry in Australia. We've made a commitment of have 10% of our fuel being SAF by 2030. That has 80% less emissions than traditional jet kerosene. It could create a sustainable aviation industry in Australia, could create more than 15,000 jobs. So it's great for the country, it's great for sustainability, and it's great for energy security. So this is a landmark deal with Airbus and an airline to do something as dramatic as this. In terms of fuel itself today, which is an immediate concern, what we're having to do is get airfares up to cover that cost. Our fuel bill next year will be $1.8 billion more than it was in 19. And we are seeing airfares responding to it. Internationally, there's not as much capacity as there is demand, so we're getting yields up and we're completely covering the increase in fuel internationally. And domestically, we're taking capacity down in the months of July, August, in order to get airfares up to cover fuel costs, and it's looking like it's sustainable. So we're comfortable that we can cover this cost, at least in the short term, and at least at current levels.
And right-sizing capacity, perhaps adjusting fares as a result as well. Alan, just finally, your outlook for the second half of the year. As we continue to see this recovery progress, do you see any major headwinds or risks on the horizon beyond what we've discussed, including the outlook for fuel?
Well, I think, the aviation industry, my predecessor said, was constant shock syndrome subject to it. So you never say never. But, the airline industry has shown how robust it is. It's gone through the worst crisis it's had in its 100-year history, in our case, 100 years of operating. And it's coming out of it, I think, stronger. We're going to get the airline industry back into profits. We're handling fuel a lot better than people would have imagined a few years ago. And the aviation industry has shown itself as being an important part of the world economy, and it's a critical part of people's lives. And I've no doubt we will sort out these operational issues in the short term, and we get the industry back on a solid footing as it was back in 19.
We can only hope so.
Thanks, Dan.